So far we've followed the river section of the Kennet and Avon, shortened and made navigable by 11 miles of canal cuttings. Starting in Reading, we've already reached Aldermaston Wharf and now continue to Newbury, where the river joins the canal's main line. After Aldermaston Lock, the walking is easy, albeit along a narrow towpath with the waterway hidden for periods behind tall vegetation. The boats you pass range from the run-of-the-mill, those boasting a creative use of garden fencing, and more thought-provoking craft. There aren't too many passing boats as you reach a more open landscape. This one is going under Bridge 29. They've just passed the entrance to Froude's Bridge Marina, which is hidden by trees. Continuing through quiet woodland, you realise that if you see one boat, another is likely to be following close behind, due to the practice of doubling up at the wide locks to save time and, especially in drag conditions, water usage. One boat travelling on its own belongs to the Micron Theatre Company, which has been bringing theatre to where you are for the last 54 years. A pillbox guards the approach to Walhampton, not to be confused with the West Midlands city of Wolverhampton, as the GWR thought it might be. That's why they changed the name of the local railway station to Midgham, not to be confused with Mitcham in Surrey. A break for refreshments at the Row Barge Inn might now be a good idea. After exiting Wolverhampton Lock, Dulcinea carries on its journey under the swing bridge, which is swinging open. By the next swing bridge, the canal has formed a close and long-lasting attachment to the railway, and both squeeze through a gap between lakes formed by the gravel extraction that's still going on. CRT are clearly gearing up for some maintenance work on the lock gates at Heels Lock, with Regents doing the heavy lifting. Following Cranwell Swin Bridge, there's a lonely lock cottage. There's a delay at Mitcham Lock, but it's eventually shared by Annie and Pompey Chimes. The towpath is again easy before crossing Aldershot Weir. When you move from country into town in the form of Thatcham, entertainment is provided by a large black dog enthusiastically retrieving an unidentified object thrown into the water. Just after passing Thatcham Station, you reach Monkey Marsh Lock, an unusual name for an unusual lock. The second and last turf-sided lock will pass. As with Galston Lock, this is a reminder of how all the locks were built. This construction method was cheap but demanded more water and made getting on and off boats difficult. After the lock, you're quickly onto the next swing bridge and weir. All the while enjoying the tranquil countryside, the quietest towpath I think I've ever walked. This quietude lasts until Bridge 45. A little further on at Bull's Lock, Turtle Dove is on her way back to Aldermaston Wharf. Continuing over weirs and along a well-maintained towpath, before crossing the busy Hambridge Road and reaching Ham Mills, you become increasingly aware of encroaching industry hiding behind the trees. With the one remaining mill in the background, the waterway turns towards Ham Manor Marina, which is squeezed in behind a B&Q. There's a thoughtful message on White House Footbridge, and a Tesco's the surest sign that you've reached civilization. Going over the attractive Bridge 54, adjacent to Greenham Lock, you can see a dry dock, but Greenham Lock Marina is largely out of view as you continue into Newbury. Passing Newbury Marina along the way. Accompanied by warehouses, workshops, stables, etc., and until 1794 the furthest navigable inland port from the Thames, the entrance to Newbury Wharf was over there. But it's now been obliterated by the A339, a bus station, and a large car park. 109 feet long and 17 foot wide, Newbury barges once departed from what is still referred to as the wharf. With corn, flour and cheese bound for London, they returned with coal, timber and other industrial goods. Most of the old buildings have disappeared except for the prettiest tea room since Aldermaston. A little further afield, the museum occupies the impressive cloth hall. Built in 1627 as a cloth factory, it's also been a workhouse, school and hospital. Opposite the wharf is Victoria Park, where the weather seems to have adopted a scorched earth policy. You then pass under the rebuilt American Tank Bridge, constructed to be strong enough for US military vehicles if German air raids had destroyed Newbury Bridge. Further along the towpath, retail outlets dominate, so you quickly move on. You pass some far more interesting buildings on the way to the 18th century Newbury or Town Bridge. And the town's busy, pedestrianised thoroughfare. From here you can see Newbury Lock, where this part of the walk will reach its conclusion. Lock enthusiasts will relish the chance of inspecting the highly unusual ground paddles fitted when the lock was opened in 1810. As this is the end of the river section, you can sit on the bench and admire the start of the Kennet and Avon main line, which we'll begin to walk in part 3. Please like and subscribe before checking out my other walks along the Grand Union, Oxford, Stratford and Worcester and Birmingham canals, together with the Birmingham Canal navigations, and I'll see you on another towpath soon.